Hello, my name is Caleb Christopher, and I'm going to cover this topic. It's a relatively sensitive topic for IT guys. It's something that is quite relevant, and soft skills are really the toughest skills to come by, the ones most coveted by recruiters and HR people when they're looking for IT people. So if you want to excel and advance your career as an IT person, this is the message for you. Why don't executives listen to you? So just to be upfront here, your mileage will vary. You're dealing with different people than I am. You're in a different business. I have done a lot of study. This is based on my personal experiences and reading. However, it's going to be different for every person. So what I'm going to do is try to give you principles. Latch onto those. I will try to illustrate those with a specific example just so it hits home, but you need to take these principles and extrapolate them into your environment, your experience. Okay? I'm going to start out with a top 10 of why executives don't listen to you. It's going to touch on both, hopefully a little bit humorous, the pain points of both sides, right? Because I speak with both sides. I used to be a tech. Still am pretty technical, and now I'm working on the business side of things. So I can identify with both sides here. I've validated this list with both sides. Shout out to David Letterman. Here we go. Number 10, why they don't listen to you. Well, you only dress up when you want to spend our money, they say. Is it true? Number 9, the network already works. Why should we spend any money? Number 8, you use more than 3 colors and 6 slides in your presentation. They can't keep up with all your tech jargon, man. Gotta keep it simple. Number 7, I'd rather spend money on something that generates income. That's a tough one to overcome sometimes. You gotta come prepared, and I'll show you how. Number 6, your presentation was just an excuse to show off. I have seen this. I've done this. It happens all too often for tech people. Don't do that. Number 5, I never know what's going on with IT until there's an emergency. Why is everything a surprise? Why do I always have to spend money at the last second? Another common one. And they don't want to listen to other proposals because you lack foresight. Number 4, security doesn't make us any money. Now, that is easy to combat as a concept, but once it's in their heads, you have to head it off before it gets into their mind. That's one of the reasons, though. They won't listen to you if that's what they're thinking. Number 3, you called my nephew an idiot. You didn't know, but he sits 2 cubes away from you. Or he's a customer that came in a couple of weeks ago and had some silly request, and you called him an idiot. Doesn't matter. Whatever the situation was, that sort of stuff happens all the time. Number 2, you keep making me change my favorite password. It's pretty easy to distract these guys. Number 1, you still haven't looked at my wife's PC. They have stuff that they want you to do, and they don't listen if they don't see results from you. So kind of silly, but kind of true. So back to business here. What the core of this message is about. IT really is all about business alignment. Now these are business executives, not IT executives. I can tell you this. Even if your business is a technology business, business is your business. Technology is not your business. Technology for technology's sake is what's in your basement. That's what you have hobbies doing, right? You've got your own home lab or whatever you do. The nerd stuff, that's technology for technology's sake. Businesses operate to make money or serve a specific purpose, and technology is generally not that purpose. So, how can you speak effectively to executives? You need to answer their unspoken questions and concerns. These are things they're not going to turn to you and ask, but they're things that maybe they haven't brought to words yet, right? Feelings that they've got. But when they see it as a statement, they will say, oh, yes, that. And if you understand what kind of things concern them, what keeps them up at night, what motivates them, and you can make technology speak to those issues, you will succeed in communicating with them. So I'm going to go through some categories at the top here, and I'll give a couple of statements that executives can often identify with. I'm afraid we won't get all our data back in a catastrophic loss. See, they're playing golf with their buddies, or they're having coffee with a friend and who's talking about something, how wonderful their data backup solution is, or whatever new tech they've got, and they start wondering in the back of their mind, can I recover from a catastrophic loss the way I want to? And you need to be able to give them a confident yes. So you need to do things and communicate with them on other terms, not just during a presentation of whatever you want them to buy, right? You need to communicate with them, send this message. We can get our data back. We are covered, we're safe, we've got a procedure, we've tested it. That's a lot of work, man. But that's the kind of thing that they want to know. Another one. It worries me that someone could crack or guess a password and access our data. That is a perfectly valid concern, a very salient one. I mean, this could happen anytime. Now, I'm going to security conferences, and the penetration testers are telling me, you know what, if we just guess the season and the two-digit year, out of 1,000 people, we'll get a couple right on through. And that's just one password, and they've got a password list that they can go through. Someone can and will guess one of your users' passwords. So how do you answer this concern to an executive? Well, to go ahead and shortcut to a technical control, two-factor authentication would help. That is the single most effective measure in preventing account compromise through either discovering, cracking, or guessing a password. So give your executives confidence in these issues. I've got some more here, so let's keep going. IT responsibilities. Our IT guys aren't interested in our opinions, so good ideas get ignored. Guess who runs the business, guys? The business executives. If they have ideas, they should be listened to. Now, I have listened to plenty of stupid ideas, but you know what? I learned to go ahead and listen to them, because there is something behind their thinking that is causing them to say, hey, we should do this. So it is your responsibility, if you want to communicate effectively with them, to try to align your thinking with theirs and understand what it is that drove them to suggest that silly thing, right? Validate their thinking and work with them. It may not be that what they're asking for is actually a thing or a solution, but maybe you can work towards something that is. Or at least work through it conversationally so that they realize that it is. Don't just tell them that it's dumb or blow it off. They can tell. That's the sort of stuff that destroys communication barriers, or builds communication barriers and destroys effective communication, or prevents it, actually. This is why you're not connecting, right? Another thing they say, it frustrates me that the IT guy is more interested in technology than our business. Again, technology is not your business, even if you're in a technology business. I don't know how to say this any other way. Business is business, and technology should support it. Okay? So you need to show interest in helping them reach their business goals with technology. IT competency. Our whatever, in this example, server room, is a mess. So why should I entrust yet another thing to the IT team? These are the things. I'm not going to grant your proposal if you're not handling the other stuff you've got going on very well. So you got to prove to me that you can handle it before I'll listen to your proposals, right? Our people are doing too much manually. Surely IT automation can help us. What can you do as an IT person to assist the business in this area? Because if you can save 10 people 5 minutes a day, that's about a half hour per week per person, or 2 hours per week or per month per person. You know, you got to think on this sort of scale. How does IT affect people? Because IT is a business enabler. 10 people times 2 hours, let's say they're paid an average of $15 an hour. I shouldn't have chose to do head math right now, but that's $30 per month per person that you're saving, because 2 hours, $300. So one little change that saves 10 people 5 minutes per day is saving $300 a month. This is where you can quantify those things from the top 10. Why spend money on something that doesn't generate income. Well, it can definitely save on outlay or make workers more efficient. These are the things you need to bring to your presentation, guys. You need to answer these core questions, concerns, the stuff that keeps them up at night. People say I can use IT to save money, but I have no idea where to start. Here we are, touching on that. Make people more efficient. IT exists to enable the business to succeed, right? I realized when I was working in a sales-driven organization that I make $0 for the company. I am a cost, right? So how do I justify my position or excel in serving those people? Because when they can sell better, when they can do what they need to do more effectively and efficiently, that is when more money comes into the organization. The less time they spend doing stupid junk on their machines, the more enabled they are to make money for the organization. So help that picture. If we had a software license audit, I have no idea if we'd be legal. This is a huge concern. Some of them have it, some of them don't even know they should have that concern. But you should be putting this sort of stuff in front of them to make sure that they understand. And I understand. I've been through a software audit. It was a nightmare, and I was the only IT guy for the company. You've got to get out in front of these issues. And I know that sometimes you're drowning, you're over your head, and there's too much to do. So you got to pick and choose, right? But this is one of those things that may be blocking effective communication. They need the answers to these questions. I don't get enough useful information on how well our IT systems are currently running. You don't keep me in the loop, I have no reason to give you funds for something else. Spending goes up, but problems always feel like surprises, and I don't get why. This is one where I get the fists raised in the air. Yeah, that, why? So they feel like this. Very commonly, executives feel that spending goes up, and IT problems always feel like surprises. Why do I have to spend thousands of dollars at a moment's notice for IT? Other departments don't have this problem. Why is it not predictable? So you need to contribute to a successful budget. It may not be your fault, right? But you need to contribute toward the success of planning strategy. It worries me that we don't know how technology change will affect our industry in the future. This is a valid concern. This is the sort of stuff they want to be talking about with their buddies when they're out having coffee or playing golf or doing whatever they do, right? They want to be able to talk theoretically into the future. So think about blockchain. How is blockchain affecting your business, your industry, your culture? Do you know? You need to stay educated and get out in front of this stuff. Bring up, make it evident to them that you understand the technology issues of the day, how those are going to affect business as it exists today and as it will exist in the future. Become a valued resource to them so that they get the skinny from you. We lack a clear strategic objective with IT projects. They often fail, take forever, cost a lot of money, way more than projected. This is very common. I've been there a lot of times, and I'm in the trenches with you guys on this one. A lot of times there's way too much going on, and we're not equipped to execute everything successfully. So how can you answer that question or that issue? Well, you need to reframe your presentation. And it's not just about the one PowerPoint you give in front of the executives in that meeting where you try to pitch what they need to purchase. Technology's purpose here is solving business problems. Your presentation is more than just that one slideshow. Your presentation is how you conduct yourself all the time. But let's look at some of the specific things you might put into a presentation. You might say this, so I'm going to have several things on the left, and I'm going to show you on the right how you should or could say it to make it more business relevant. So, for example, you might say, we need more or better logging. We need to buy this software. And then you illustrate with some fancy pie charts, bar charts, return on investment calculator stuff that's based on things that you don't even do, so it's out of touch, right? That is not what's going to convince them. I'll tell you this. For an executive to just accept this junk of a message, they're either a stellar executive that understands technology and how it affects their business already, and they don't need you except to operate everything, or they're tired of you coming and they finally give in like a parent, or they're stupid and you've tricked them into it. I think that's the 3 instances for them to buy in on something as simple as this. It makes sense to you and me, but you need to make it make business sense. So how do we do that? Reframe it. To meet compliance requirements and to avoid fines, we need this software, whatever it is, right? You just shift the angle from which you view that. Or another one, for IT to focus on project execution, we need such and such software to automate log analysis. This, sir, will free up some of our time to execute projects better. Oh, if we roll backwards a little bit, what do we have right here? Failure to execute projects. Well, sir, we don't have the bandwidth to do it. You know, if we were able to automate some of what we do, or outsource it to a software or another team that can help us out, then we could spend more time executing projects. Hey, that's a value-added message. They're going to hear that. Another example, we need bigger battery backups so that the, for example, database server doesn't experience a power cut. Straight up, that makes sense to me, right? That's a no-brainer for me as a technical person. But how do you tell a business person that? What does it mean if the database server experiences a power cut? Now, of course, we're talking small business problems here, right? So for you enterprise customers, this may not be as applicable, but it's still the principle of the thing. How do you reframe the presentation? Well, you can say we're currently at risk of database corruption with potential downtime of 6 hours and a loss of $25,000 in transaction processing as we enter an electrical storm season with inadequate backup power. We got construction across the street, there's power fluctuations, we've had a couple of brownouts, etc., etc., etc. You can go into all the excuses here, but what you need to do is bring it back to the business. We're at risk of loss. There is financial and operational loss at stake, and we can spend for an investment. This is the key phrase. You got to change it from spend and cost to investment. For an investment of $1,500, for example, we can add more battery backup capacity so that our servers can survive a power cut for longer, enough to shut down in time effectively, etc. Whatever it is, that's the way you got to frame this stuff. Another one, we need this, and I've looked, it's outrageous what some of these little modules cost. So for example, we need this $350 temperature monitor so I can get notified when the AC isn't working in our server room. Makes sense to me. How do you say it more effectively? We have $65,000 of temperature sensitive heat generating equipment in our server room. For about $350, we can most likely prevent that $65,000 from overheating. So we're investing $350 in a significant reduction in risk of loss or downtime. Is this starting to make sense? I hope. Here's a good one. We need a pizza party once a month for morale. Yeah, good luck getting that one over. Now listen to this. Sir, I'd like to challenge our team to grow and learn from one another. You know, we can build culture and share tribal knowledge, which improves efficiency within the department. We can cover for each other better, and we can do better at customer service because we understand how we affect the business. I would like to host a monthly lunch and learn. Do you think that's something the business could sponsor? Can we justify that expense because we're going to be investing in the success of the IT team? That's a lot different way to say the same thing. So here we get to a little more of the deep issues. You need to reframe the way you think in order to do this effectively. IT exists to serve and enable others. IT is not an end unto itself, guys. Customer service. Did you know that the users are your customers? If you can internalize that mindset, put that on your wall, do something. Understand that the users are your customers, and in any business or business unit, customer satisfaction is paramount to the success of the organization. So if your IT team is going to be successful, you need to understand that users are your customers and you need to keep them satisfied. That means you can't imply that they're idiots on the phone. Your tone of voice when you deal with them needs to not indicate that you think they're stupid for whatever they just said or did. You need to be patient and caring and serving. If you can internalize this mindset, it will change your actions and interactions with people naturally. Because if I think you're an idiot, but you can tell I'm acting nice or just deciding not to try to convey that you're an idiot, you can still tell that I think you're an idiot. I don't know how it works exactly, but people can tell, okay? So if your genuine mindset is that you are here to serve me, I can tell that too. That's the difference between excellent customer service and poor customer service. People can tell. This change will be noticed by others in the organization. And I'll tell you what, executives are users too. So even if you're especially polite to them, you know, they can tell that you're being polite and not genuine. It's just the way it is. They're better at reading people than IT people are, okay? Here's another pro tip. I learned some of this stuff the hard way. Please take this to heart, guys. Some way, somehow, all these executives are connected with one another and with people all over the place. That's how they get to be successful. I don't know. I haven't unlocked that secret. When I find the key to that trick, I'll let it out for you guys. But they're connected, okay? So they have friends and family everywhere. No matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing, you need to tread carefully. Anyone could be a friend or family member of those executives. Employees, business partners, customers. I have burned bridges, and I'm telling you, please be careful. When you turn around after they say something, that idea that they think you should listen to and you blow off, you turn around and roll your eyes, they can feel that. People can feel that sort of stuff. Or maybe you roll your eyes and somebody else saw it. Guess who's best friends with the boss? Right? This stuff gets back to them. You cannot penetrate these bonds. They've built friendships and relationships. So when you call somebody an idiot or burn a bridge because they're making a stupid suggestion and you call them out on it, right? You're calling people out because you're a technical person who's black and white, right? Everything is right or wrong. There's a lot of gray areas that you don't understand, guys. So while they're going to just have coffee or something like that later on, and what they're going to be doing is talking about what an idiot you are because you did not really interrupt their relationship. So if Joe suggests to Bill that he do this and you're like, no, that's dumb, and you call him an idiot, it's going to come back on you. Just don't. Connections are everywhere. Okay, another tip. Why are the executives who they are, where they are, doing what they're doing? Think about that. Walk a mile in their shoes. Think of the human side of that person. Try to empathize with their dreams, passions, and purpose. Why are they in this business? A lot of times, especially in smaller businesses, guess whose house and car and life savings are on the line to pay your paycheck, guys? Have you ever thought of it that way? They have dreams, passions, and a purpose. They are here for a reason. If you can figure that out, whatever that purpose is, and serve that, you will become a trusted advisor. You will be heard. Think about that for a while. Really, what we're talking about here is, I'm not going to spend time here. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, go look it up, understand it for yourself. You are spending your time and effort here for the executives. You need to help them achieve these two levels. They need to be validated, and they need to achieve success. And if you can equip them, if you can communicate with them and make them feel connected with the business, with the technology side of business, so that they understand it, and if you can help them succeed, that's those two top levels, then you will be heard. Okay, another layer deeper, guys. So we're getting philosophical here. Build a personal mission statement. I spent hours building one. I'm not kidding. I spent many hours building this. And I'm going to give you some excerpts from mine. But if you can build a purpose behind your actions that helps to guide and direct your actions on a daily basis, you will become better at that. You will internalize that customer service mindset. So here are some things that come straight from my personal mission statement that I have posted on my wall that I look at daily. Be a trusted advisor to all stakeholders. Utilize tact and discretion at all times. Do not be a blabbermouth. Be able to hold your tongue. There are many things, especially in IT. You have access to a lot of stuff. So I can't imagine you guys don't know how to keep things quiet, but you need to learn to do that on the social aspect as well. Next, speak frankly and tactfully with the best interests of who I'm serving in mind. Who are you serving? Are you serving yourself because it's fun to rack up the funniest help desk ticket? Like a competition, you guys are trying to keep track of who's got the funniest request? Or are you serving the user? Are you serving the business? Always allow third parties to save face. Guys, this is a big one. We're so black and white as technical people that we want to call out when somebody was wrong. You know what? You can guide a conversation in the right direction without saying, hey, you're wrong, or making somebody look like an idiot and eat their words. Let them save face. I've burned bridges by making sure that people knew they were wrong. So I came from working for state government. And what I learned in my 5.5 years doing that is that, hey, with all the political backstabbing, it was outrageous, unbelievable. What I learned was you had to have everything in writing, right? You want to be able to prove that you said this and that they said that. So everything was an email. And I had to change my mindset from always getting everything in writing and then holding people accountable to that to, you know what? There's a lot more gray area. What matters is moving forward, not what you said before. Unless it's a contract issue, and even then, tread carefully. Because what you should do is treat business relationships like valued employees and friends. So, that business relationship, did it exist before you got there? It may well be that the CEO is friends with somebody else. They grew up together. Or that other person really came in and served or saved the day for that CEO, and now they do business together because they've built that relationship of trust. I have done this the wrong way, guys. Do not try to break into those relationships. You don't know who is a friend and who is a trusted business partner. So be careful. Always communicate concerns in person. So if I don't think that business B is really serving our best interests, I am no longer going to send an email about that. That stuff gets forwarded, circulated. It's permanent. I have done some real relationship damage. Always communicate concerns in person or over the phone, in person preferably. Avoid, and this is in bold on my mission statement, avoid written means for the expression of misinterpretable or potentially damaging communications. That means if it can be misinterpreted and be damaging, do not write it down. I cannot stress this enough. Use a phone call or talk in person. It's faster anyway once you pick up the phone, right? Look at this one before you send every email that may be potentially risky for you, okay? Another one, speak positively. Avoid stating problems from a complaint perspective. Communicate them rather as opportunities. Pretty simple. Now, guys, I spent hours building and refining that from scratch. Feel free to rip it off and use it if it helps you, okay? Now, what's the next stage? You need to elevate your thinking. This is you. A typical IT guy is down here at the operational level. That's day-to-day operations. You are task-focused. So if you're complaining about this button or this software, you're probably thinking on a task level. Managers live on a tactical level. So strategic is talking years in advance, right? This is where the executives live. They have to plan the business. If they fail to do this well, this doesn't matter because there will be no business, right? This is years. This section is shorter term, weeks to months to years, right? You're planning the operations of your department on a quarter-by-quarter basis or something along those lines. This is the daily operations. Where is your thinking? Have you ever considered that? So when you're proposing a software or a new tool or something like that, is it just to make your tasks easier? Or is it because it will serve the goals of your managers? The annual projections, will it serve that purpose? Or is it looking forward even further to say, look, our business needs to be scalable in the next 5 years. We should shift to a different software that's more agile and start training users to be more efficient, less reliant upon using a specific computer and more more agile in being able to use any device, anywhere, anytime, in order to get work done. Where is your thinking? That is what will shift what you find to be important. And really what you'll find is you are more in line with how they think anyways. So here's the recap, guys. Answer the unspoken questions that they have. Go back and look through that list. It's not complete, but it's pretty accurate. Again, I have validated everything in here with business people. Okay, this stuff is true. Use technology to solve business problems. That is what it is for. IT exists to serve. You are a servant. If you cannot get that through your head, you will not rise and succeed. You may always have a job, but you will not excel. Okay? Act from purpose. The deepest part of this is build a mission statement and act from purpose. Okay? This link doesn't matter anymore, so you don't need to go there. But if you want to view this presentation itself, here's a link, and here's a link to my personal mission statement. I have made it public. Anyone can go visit, make a copy for yourself, do what you like, okay?